Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a Bowls Victoria training webinar. My name is Matt Tobre, Club Education and Training Manager, and I'll be your host for tonight. Joining us in the Q&A will be Mel Allen. Mel is our Communication and Marketing Manager. So Mel will be manning the questions, and I'll go through how you can do that. And Mel will come in at the end and we'll discuss what we think have been some really good questions. All right, let's get started. The purpose of tonight's session and this morning's one, really to enable clubs to understand and apply the recent upgrade changes. You should all know that a massive membership upgrade occurred on the 5th of August. And there's some things in our club admin section that look different and some new capabilities that we all need to understand and start using. Also a good opportunity to support our new secretaries and / club administrators. Sometimes we have club administrators that are not secretaries. So a good opportunity to support them. And finally, it's an opportunity really to encourage clubs to use the full capabilities of Bowlslink. If this is your first webinar, welcome. They're a little bit different to the normal Zoom meetings that we're used to. As you can see from the picture, it's a little bit like sitting in a cinema. You get to sit back and watch me do all the work. You do have a Q&A option at the bottom of your Zoom screen. So throw some questions in there as you think about them. Mel will do her best to try and answer them. And then at the end, Mel will come on and we'll discuss some of those questions. Tonight's session is being recorded, just like this morning, and we'll work out which is the better session and upload that to our support website, which I'll go through later on in the session. Let's have a look at our agenda. It's pretty jam-packed and there'll be a lot of talking from me. So firstly, I'll look at logging in, password reset, really important that our new users understand that process. Two-factor authentication applies to all club admins. So there's a code that you'll need to put in each time that you log in. And I probably didn't mention this morning, Bowlslink will log you out if you're not active, if you're inactive for an hour. So if you haven't touched the Bowlslink and it's hit the hour mark, it will log you out and you'll need to log back in. I'll go through changing your profile, which I get asked a lot. Then we'll look at the whole membership part of the club admin. So how we can edit our members. Membership types is brand new, so I'll discuss that. I'll talk about certifications. We'll have a really good look at the transfer process and how that all works. They still get a lot of questions around that. I'll show you some reports that you can download. Then we'll look at club details. A lot of changes in here, a lot of new required fields that we want you to fill out. And then those yellow items, competitions, events, and email campaigns. I won't demonstrate how to use all of those tonight. We don't have the time. I'll show you where there's some training that can help you, but really I'll just talk about the benefits that they have for your club. We'll look at the finance part. This is really ties in with our membership types, fees and fee packages. I'll then look at training resources that you can use. And then, as I mentioned at the start, Mel will come on and we'll discuss some of your questions. All right, let's get started. I'll share my other screen. All right, you should be able to see, sorry, I'll just turn my video off as well so you don't see my face. So you should be able to see the login page, which is bowlslink.com.au. Tonight, I'm in the beta version of this, just so no one's personal information will be shown. So every club administrator should be quite used to this login screen. You can use your email or your national ID. I like to use my national ID. It forces me to remember it. And then your password. So all club administrators should know these two things. If you do get invalid credentials, it generally means one of them is incorrect. So this little I here will show you a password. I won't do it now. And you can check. New members and members who haven't logged into Bowlslink, they need to do the password reset, probably because they don't know their password. And what happens here is the member would put their email address in, they would get a code, put the code in, and then they get the opportunity to set their password. This is a common practice in a lot of websites. All right, log in. So I've put my ID and my password. My two-factor authentication option is set to SMS. And it says that up there. So I'm now waiting for that code to appear, which has been a lot quicker than this morning. Put my code in and hit submit. Club administrators should then see a profile selection. That's where you get the option to go between your two profiles. I have two more here that a lot of you won't have. So there's your club admin. That should be your club name. And then your My Clubs. If you're a dual member at another club or you've been at another club, you will see both those clubs there. Just remember that these grey parts here are headings. So I've had a lot of people trying to click on it and not work. It's the green showing you where you can go. So here's Bandura RSL Club Admin. At any time, if I want to change my profile, you can do that up here on the top left, on the down arrow. Red is what you're currently in, which is Club Admin Bandura RSL. Green is what's available. So I could go to my Clubs Bandura RSL, and there's my profile. If I want to change my security setting, that's done through the My Clubs profile, and it's done through security. Authenticator app, I had a couple people convert to that today, which is fantastic. And then they had a lot of problems. So just be careful with the Authenticator app. You do need to know how to use them. Email is obviously what the default is, and I like to use SMS. Very rarely do I have any problems with SMS. So I'm going to change that back to Club Admin. Just remember, red is what you're currently in. I do get a lot of questions about this. Green is what is available. All right, club admins, if you've been in that role for a while, you should know this side of the Bowlslink quite well. Obviously, new club admins, let's go through it. So first thing is members. In here, I can edit my members two ways. I can do it through the action button and edit member. At the same time, I can archive that member, or I can manage what group they have. I'm just going to hit edit member on my first member there. This is all their key details. So at any time, if I need to change them, I come in here. Just remember, you can't share an email address in your key details with someone else. Because it's related to the password reset, it has to be unique. Just another reminder too, be very careful about changing your players or your members' names. Obviously, the maiden name needs to be changed if someone gets married. Do that now. Don't do it halfway through the pennant season, because you won't see the change in pennant. It'll still be the one that started there. So this is the time now to do that name change. And then before pennant starts, just make sure that the right name is in that side. Personal information, just be careful about what email address you put in here. I would only put an email in here if the member doesn't have an email address at all, and it might be a family email. I wouldn't put another email in here because the system will use emails differently. So if you book into an event, sometimes it's your personal information email that gets used. So to avoid all that confusion, I recommend that your main email goes into your key details, and don't worry about putting a second email in here. If you don't have an email in your key details because you don't have an email address, obviously that's going to be blank, and that email goes into your personal information. Emergency contact, really important that the clubs know who they are, so fill that in. Really, invoices should be received by email. This is where we can put a deceased date, unfortunately, if we have to, and the organisation. I'm pretty sure that relates to the business organisation that the member has. Member details, make sure you've got your member since date in here. I've had a lot of questions about I can't change a financial to date. That's because of the big change to membership types, but you can definitely put your member since date. Additional details, not often used by clubs, and I'll show you where you can set that up, but it might be locker number or dietary requirements. We can set that up in the back end and then put that information into each of our members' details. Go back. So that's through Edit Member. Another way that we can edit our members is through basically their dashboard or profile, and you access that through their first or last name. You'll see that that's a link. It goes light blue. And in here, I get some more capabilities to edit my member. I can have a look at their activity wall. Sometimes I might need to go in there and see something that's happened. Details, similar to what we just saw before, but I now get the option to add a member group here. I get an option to add a certification, but just remember, they're only certifications that clubs can approve. So no officiating and no coaching certifications can go in here. They need to be generally applied by the state body, which is Bowls Victoria, and approved by the state body. Email campaign channels can also be added here. I can go back to that edit member details, which I had before. I can archive. New tab, membership. So here I can see a history of the memberships that have been added to my member. Membership types, which we'll talk about next. Here is also where I can add a membership type. Select it, put the start date. If there's no fee in it, don't worry about that and just hit add. Account, I get to see all the invoices related to this member, and notes. This is where I can put notes in about our members. Some of those notes can be not visible to the member, or they can be visible. All right, let's go to membership types, because this is where all the big changes happened on the 5th of August. Membership types, really, they have replaced your categories. So categories is still there, so you can see what categories you had. But categories, as it says here, will only remain for a limited time and will eventually leave the admin side. So look at membership types as basically replacing your categories that we used to put onto the member. Participation types is your playing rights. And we have 5 participation types now that we need to follow. I'll click on a document that BA have created that explains that pretty well. So the highest level is our competition bowler, which is green, sort of relates to the playing right, yes. Generally, they're the ones that club championships and pennant. Then we have our social club bowler. They're bowlers who don't play club champs, don't play pennant, and just play your social comps, which you might have on weekly. Program bowler is someone who might do corporate bowls or jack attack. An experience is generally a one-off, and that's good examples barefoot there, and a non-player. So it's a club member who doesn't participate on the green. We often get asked about affiliation fees. Affiliation of fees will apply to social club bowler and competition bowler. Program, there's still a bit of work to be done in this area with BA and the state bodies. So at the moment, you won't get charged affiliation for program, but stay tuned with that. Obviously, experience, you won't get charged. It's a one-off event. And obviously, someone who doesn't play on your greens won't be charged affiliation. So clubs, you really need to be smart with your memberships that you put on and you give to your members, and you need to include the affiliation fee for competition bowler and social club bowler. All right, this is the new part, fee packages. So we never had the ability before to put a fee in there that our members could pay. I'll go through fee packages a little bit later on, but that now sits in our membership type. Finally, your financial 2, you'll find that when you click on edit type, and it comes from the expiry that's set in here. So this expiry is fixed annual, so specific day and month of the year, and that's been set to 30 June. So if I apply that membership today, 27th of August, this will expire next year, 30 June 25. So big change, but really it's the new capability that's coming with the fee package. So C membership types is basically replacing your categories. Participation type is replacing your playing rights. Now we have a great capability where we can get our members to pay, and our expiry is, financial 2 is through your expiry. So really check all your membership types. I'm going to add a new type here, which is non-player, I think. Let me check. Barefoot, actually, I'm going to add in, which is an experience. I'm going to put barefoot as the title. And I'll just repeat that. Member selectable. If you tick this, your members can apply that membership to their profile. Just be careful if there's no fee in that membership will then be paid. I would really down the track only use this option if there's a fee that needs to be paid, because the member can select what membership type they want. It won't be approved until they pay it. I must put a fee package in here. Now I've created a fee package here for barefoot, and I'll explain a little bit later on how that works. I then get my option to set the expiry, so fixed annual, quite common to see 30 June. I do get the ability though to set my period. So if I say flexible, I've got the option of a 1-day membership, 7 days, 30, 1 month. I've even got here custom period. I'm going to stick with fixed annual for this. Auto renewal, great feature. That means I don't have to keep applying them every year. If I tick it, I then get a renewal period of how many days before it expires. The member can renew it. So I might say 30 days, and then I might tick that so they get notified of this membership expiring in 30 days, and they've got 30 days to pay it. I won't apply that. Here's my participation type, and barefoot is a one-off. It's an experience. Add that. So that's how you add your membership type. You can always come in here and edit it if you want. So change the title, change some of the settings. All right, let's go back to members because we all want to know how we can apply that to our members. So let's say these two members here are barefooters. So we're quite used to using this left tick box. You can still use that. So I could tick as many as I want. Scroll to the top. Before we had financial to date, now we've got add membership. Select the membership that you want. It is barefoot. Start date. Really, this should be after the previous expiry. So just be careful if your expiry is fixed annual 30 September and I put it on today, it will expire this year, 30 September. So generally, these memberships are going on after the previous one has expired. So I'm going to put today as the start date. You can put a time in if you want and hit add. So these two members now have that membership. There's the playing rights. They're an experience, so they're not going to get charged affiliation. Remember, it's only the green and the dark blue. And there's the financial to date. So that's the big change. Hopefully I've explained it quite well. I'll show you some training resources later on that further explain those big changes. Let's work our way down this left-hand side, groups. A lot of clubs don't use this facility. Highly recommend start using it because once you create a group, you can then start to email that group. So I might have a group for my barefooters. I can now start to email them about events that are happening at my club. How do we add it? It's generally top right where a lot of our plus buttons are. Give it a name. Really important question here is it an email campaign channel? So if I want to email my barefooters, I need to tick this now because if I don't tick it, I won't get the ability to make it an email channel. And if you don't want to email, you don't have to use the group. So tick that and hit save. Now the same way we did it before, using our left tick boxes. So I might have, well, let's get our two barefooters. Add to group. Choose the group and hit assign. Now they will now synchronize into our email campaign, which I'll show you later on. Certifications. Obviously, here's a record of all your members and the certifications that they have. There's the status. Obviously, you're looking to see approved ones. You can see who's expired. Maybe give them a reminder. Manage is where you do the approving. And just remember, it's only certain certifications that you can approve. So the COVID vaccine was one. Working with children is another. RSA. You've got a bus driver one here, which is sitting pending. So if I wanted to approve it, action button, approve. If you put one on that you don't really want to use, you can revoke it as well. Export is just a great way of seeing all your certifications in an Excel file, CSV. Gives you the ability to edit it and see just who's expired and make sure you've got enough coaches and officials for the next season. Transfers. I'm going to go back to my slideshow for this. I've created a slide. Not this one. Here we are. So hopefully here I can explain the transfer process. It is quite layered. It's taken me a while to get my head around it. Hopefully this diagram will do it justice. So let's look at the transfer process. It always starts with adding an existing member. So what we mean by existing member is they're a member in the system. Once we've clicked that, we then need to search for the member, and the easiest way to find a member is through their national ID number. Once we've found them, we're then doing an invite and transfer. I will demonstrate this process shortly. Once you've done that, what happens is 2 invitations will be sent. One to the member and one to the primary club. Only one of those invitations needs to be accepted. A good example why you would go to the primary club as well is sometimes the member doesn't have an email address. Quite often, the invitation is accepted by the member and not by the primary club. Once that's been accepted, and we need it to be accepted, they will start to appear in your database as pending. And you can clearly see quite often it's the primary club that hasn't approved that transfer, which is holding it up. Once the primary club approves, the primary clubs change. They will now be in both databases. Really, it's the previous club's job to then work out what to do with that member. Sometimes they stay as a dual. Most often they get archived. Slightly different process for members who want to come back to you. So they've left your club and now they want to come back because they're already in your database and they might be archived. So the best thing to do is unarchive them, go into their profile through their first or last name, and on the right is a request transfer button. I'll try and demonstrate that as well. Another common question we get is how do we put dual members into our system? The transfer process is pretty similar, but they won't change primary club. So add existing member, same as the transfer, search for them, and you only click invite. You don't click invite and transfer. This time an invitation is only sent to the member and the member needs to accept it. Where this process can fall down is obviously the member not having an email address in their profile. We do have a warning at the bottom here. Sorry. Gone. And that is that archive members can be transferred in the system. Basically, if you're archiving a member, you're saying that they don't have a club and they would follow the dual membership process. So they would add existing member, search for them. They won't even see the invite and transfer button. It'll be inactive. They hit invite, invitation goes to the member, they accept it, they come over to your club as a primary club member. So just be careful there of when you archive someone you think is going to leave, because they can be transferred if they're sitting as archived. I hope I've explained that well enough. Let's go back to the screen and see some of that in action. All right. Let's do a transfer. Add member existing, not brand new. Put the ID number in. Just be careful. A lot of people are using this and not finding them. I think there's still a bit of work to be done in this area and it might be hard to find them. So NIN is your best way to do it, and then search. I've been found. I'm not archive because it's telling the new club what the primary club is. And there's my invite and transfer button for a transfer. There's your invite button if you're just doing a dual membership. Let's see. Okay, probably not going to have any dual members in here. A good way of seeing if they're a dual member, oh, here we go. The club name won't be bold. So Moses, he was a previous member, and now he's gone somewhere else. There's that request transfer button. Just also reminds me, I haven't demonstrated adding a brand new member. That's done through add member, new member. Really, that should say brand new member to the sport. We've got a whole lot of required fields, which is first name, obviously, if they've got an email address, that goes straight into their key details, mobile. You will need to put their date of birth. Well, probably left off a number there, gender, and hit next. Here, you will be asked to put in a password. The clubs generally come up with a generic club password. Make sure it matches and then click next. The member can now use that password. There you can put their address in. Straight away, you can apply a membership type. This person is a full member. I can fill in some additional club details if I've got them, and then I need to agree. Previously, they would go to a pending state, and I'll show you where they sit. Now they just go straight into your database. Here's the pending tab here, and here's the archive tab. So I should be able to see John. Now, I'm wondering why John's membership is not active. Let's click on here and go to membership. That's because it's in a pending state because it needs payment, and I know John has paid by cash. And there's John right to go. All right, so that's transfers. Export is just a quick way of getting all your data from the database. It's quite a big Excel file. Reports is where you want specific data, and you can configure it to what you want to see. So member key details is a good one. I get to, you might put don't care. You might just want to see who's financial and you don't want to see anyone who's archived. And then you get to choose what data you want from them. You can unselect and just select ones, or you can select all. This report at the bottom will show you if any of your members get transferred to another club while they were archived. So if you do have an example of, I didn't know this person had transferred to another club and you want to follow it up, that report will show you, and you put your change on or after a date. Okay, let's move on. Club details. There's been some big changes in here. We now have more tabs. We have details page. So that is club information, address, current positions. So we really want clubs to fill these in now. So your treasurer, secretary, and your president, because they will flow into an email campaign that we'll start to use. So it's a great way of us sending information to all the secretaries. How do I put my members in there? Click the plus button, choose the member, might be Moses. Start and end date. He hasn't been in here for long. So we might go there and submit. I do get this question a lot, is how do I get this person out of here? Because if I click the pencil, I can't change them. You just need to make sure that their term has ended. So expire that person by putting a date in, and then they'll be available to start selecting a new person. So affiliations, this is all new that we need clubs to fill in. You got a governance page, your greens. Here you can see what greens have been put in for you, and if the details in here are not correct, use the edit pencil to fix them all up. You won't have the ability to change your ranks. That's done by the state body. And if you are missing a green, please let us know and we'll put that green in for you. Additional details. So all this is done through update details. So we really need clubs to start doing this at the start of each season, especially those club positions. Okay, then you can get some reports as well out of there of club positions. Greens is just another way of accessing what we could access before through edit green. All right, let's move on. Competitions, as I mentioned at the start, tonight's session is not about showing you how to create comps because the process is quite layered, and you probably need 2 training sessions to understand it. But really, clubs need to think about this year, do we put our club champs in here? If you do, the benefits are members can enter online. If you think they're capable of doing that, you can take payment from that entry online. And then the real benefit is the result portal you can send out to all your members so they know who they're playing, they know the results. You can even do some live scoring if you wanted to. If you're not ready for that, I really think clubs need to start thinking about their tournaments. Bowlslink strength is competitions, and it does tournaments really well. Registration, open and close it, send it out, take payment, and then straight away, once you close it, you fixture it. On the day, all your participants get the result portal on their phone. So a real win there. If you're not using it, think about how you can start using it this year or this season. Events, very similar in the setup, but I would use it for taking bookings. I know my club next week has got a social event. We could set that up in here and take bookings. So for catering, we know how many people are attending. If we're paying for that catering, we can take the payment. Again, I won't go through how to use it. I'll show you where there's some training, because again, it's probably a webinar on its own. Email campaigns. This is where you get to email those subscribers. So list and subscribers. Now you may need to synchronize. Sometimes it doesn't come in while that's doing that. Create a campaign. And again, just like events and competitions, I've already done a webinar on this if you want to see it. And Jess has done a Bowls Learn unit. So I won't go through how to use it all. It's very similar to MailChimp in the way that you set it up and you email to your subscribers. And there's that barefoot one that came just in. All right, finances. Again, you get a record of all your invoices, all your payments that you've taken. So John Bowles, we just got his money. Fees. and fee package is really important because this flows into your membership types. So fees, we create a whole lot of fees. So sort of see it a little bit like a folder and files. These are all our files, our fees, and then they sit inside a fee package, which is like a folder. So an example here is full member. That has 2 fees, full membership and championships. That could also have green fees in there as another fee. So we set the fees up first through add fee, give it a name, description, and value. You can also tick type. I would probably steer away from that, but it is asking you to, so you can sort of group your types for your fees. And is it shareable, and hit save. Once you've set up all your fees, so I don't have a green fee one in here, I could set that up. I then set up my fee package. So click add fee package, give it a name, a description, and hit save. Once you've done that, you can then add the fee in by selecting the fee and hit add. Now, that flows straight into your fee types, your membership types. Here they are here. So if I put a fee into Barefoot, then when I apply that membership, it needs to be paid either by the member, if that's where you want to move to, or by the club. And obviously the membership won't appear here until payment has been taken. So with that, the fee packages, great new capability. It's up to your club on how you want to use it. If you want to start taking payments, fantastic. If you just want to put 0 fees in there, these aren't, then you don't need to worry about taking payment through the system. We've got a couple more at the bottom. You've got a link to your result portal, which we all should be pretty comfortable with. And we've got Bowlslearn. I will talk about Bowlslearn a little bit later on, but I'll show you how to use it. It's our learning management system. It's where we can do online modules at our own pace. So click on Bowlslearn. It does take you to a new tab in your browser. So it's not actually sitting in Bowlslink at the moment. There's Bowlslink and there's Bowlslearn. Once you're in here, the first thing I recommend you do is log in using your Bowlslink. So I'm going to log in actually using my Bowlslink information. And I know that I've logged in now because it's now saying log out and it's now saying dashboard. Dashboard is a good way of seeing what courses you've completed or you still need to complete. And as I said, it's self-paced. You don't need to do the course right from the start to finish. You can always come back in. So this one here is in progress. I've still got a little bit to go. It's the quiz here that I haven't finished. So dashboard, really good way. If you're doing officiating online through Bowlslearn, it's a good idea to print off your dashboard to show when you go to your on-green assessment that you have done those units. If I want to access a unit, I go to course catalog. There's all our officiating. So I might want to just do the marker. I then, obviously my region would know about this and they would set up an assessment day. So I do the online learning and the assessment day. Same with measurers. If you want to be a national umpire, you need to do both marker and measurer modules and the national umpire. As it says there, you need to do them first before the national umpire. Introductory coach, you can do completely online. You need to pay for it online as well. Club coach, this is where I do a lot of my work. Online is free, but then you need to sign up for an on-green training day. That's done through our website, and you need to do the online module first. Selection module, completely online, good one to do going into this season. So you might get your selection committee to all do that module and then come together and develop your selection policy and your assessment. Here's all the Bowlslink modules. So big thank you to BA. Jess Alvaro has probably done a lot of this work. So Jess has set up a whole lot of these ones that you can do. So if you're going to be a side manager doing teams and results, there's that module. If you want to improve your club website, if you want to do the live scoring, so competitor, there's another one. Tonight, I showed you competition. So if you want to learn how to create comps, go and do that one. If you're not sure about transfers, I think that goes back to our transfer video. There's one on email campaigns and events. And if I haven't explained it well enough tonight, there's one on membership types, which I went through. So how do you do them? Just click on the one. I've actually already started that one. Try and pick one that I haven't done. Two strikes. Yeah. So it firstly says you're not enrolled, the price, and this is what you click on to take the course and get started. And there I am. There I go straight into that first unit. And then mark as complete at the bottom. Then I can always leave it and come back to my dashboard if later on if I need to finish it off. So that's Bowls Learn really quickly. I'll get out of that. All right, I've got to the bottom, which now means that I'll share my slideshow, and I think it might be time to talk about training resources. So obviously you've seen Bowls Learn, the support website. I'll share my screen again because this is probably a website a lot of our members are not using. So down the bottom here is that request support button. You'll click on that, and then if I click on view user manuals, it will take you to this website. This is a website that's been set up by BA. Got some great resources in here, generally articles that you can read and sometimes videos. I would go straight to browse category. Category. And there I get to see the different categories that I can find out about. So if I want to find out about how I can start taking payment through the system, there's one on the payment gateway. There's also a form in here that you need to fill out. If you want to revise about the membership upgrade, there it is there. So another great training resource that I don't think enough of our clubs are using, just how you get to it again is through the green button and view user manuals, and it takes you straight to this website. Obviously Bowls Victoria has some great resources. So there's myself that I work with a lot of regions and clubs. Also our website, so I'll just share that as well. So here's our website, Club Assist, and then down to Bowlslink. First thing you're going to see is a form that I get a lot of emails about. How do I add or remove a club administrator? There's your link. That takes you to an online form that you fill in. That comes to me, and I'll action it and email you when it's been actioned. I try and do that 3 times a week. I am a little bit behind, fortunately. Here's all our webinar recordings. So hopefully by the end of this week, tonight or this morning's recording will sit in here. So if you're looking where to go to watch the recording again or to share it with someone, all our videos sit here. Help videos, basically they are less than 5 minutes, and this is a good one here if you've got a lot of your members entering comps through Bowlslink. Really quick video. There's a link again to the support website, and there's all my details. All right. The only other bit of training, another training resource is BA. So Bowls Australia, Aaron Delaporte and Jess Alvaro. They do a lot of great work in the area of Bowlslink, and there's their joint email address. So if you've got any questions, obviously I'm the point of call for Victoria, but sometimes I'll refer your email off to Jess and Aaron. All right, that's been a lot of talking from me. I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'm going to bring in Mel. You there, Mel?
Yep. Can you hear me?
I can hear you and see you. How you going?
Fantastic. So we've had quite a few questions come through. Most I've been answering as we go. There's not really any open ones other than just the last couple. One is not being able to delete a membership type because it's grayed out, meaning that it cannot be selected and deleted. Do we know why that is?
Yeah, I'm still finding that out.
Okay. All right. So we're going to come back to you on that one, Chris.
Yep.
Well, hopefully you'll see next time you log in, perhaps it might change.
I think because it's new, they're afraid that you'll start to lose all your membership types, but there's generally a reason why. Quite often in the system, we can't delete members. We can't delete a lot of things. So, but yeah, I'll find that out for you from the developers.
There's been a couple of questions around permits and how long they take and so on. So my answer to those couple of people that have asked the same question is once the primary club has approved that permit, it comes through to BV, and Sam's turnaround time usually is about 48 hours if all the paperwork has come through correctly. There's a comment here that hasn't happened for somebody, so there's obviously a reason for that, Karen. So we'll follow that up with Sam or reach out to Sam. Perhaps there's been an issue from the primary club's end. Not sure, but it's usually a fairly quick and easy process, and he hasn't had too many of them come through. So it's I don't believe it's taking him a lot of time to get through them.
So they will appear as dual members in the club that they're going to play the permit for. So if they come in as a dual member and then you see that certification pennant permit, you know it's all right to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, shoot a question to the events team.
I'm just trying to backtrack onto a couple of questions that from Graham. Is the link for results portal and Bowlslearn available to non-admin for ordinary members, which I answered yes. So the results portal, when we're at a major event, for example, anyone can jump onto the internet or onto the Bowls Now app and check results of any events that are being run. And the Bowlslearn is available to any member who has a profile in Bowlslearn, not admin only.
In the My Clubs is what standard users see, and you will get access to those two links at the very bottom, Bowlslearn and Result Portal.
Yeah. There's been a question about the two-step verification and club computers versus home computers. Like the original question was around the login, which you covered earlier, Matt, that your profile and your login is unique to you. It's not a club login. So you would log in as yourself, and then once you're logged in, you select the session that you're doing, whether you're your own personal profile where you're entering a tournament or whether you're doing some work at the club as your club admin.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good
just
question, and I think it comes to what happened when we first rolled Bowlslink out, was that we obviously a new system, and I think we created club accounts, which goes against how the system works. We should all be individual users in the system. So yeah, we really need clubs to move away from a generic email that they put in and a generic password, because we're not knowing who's using the system. You've got access to personal information. So yeah, really, if we've got any of those still going along, we really need to stop using them and archive them.
Yeah, and that question was sort of followed on with people perhaps being able to log in to Bowlslink from their home computer without the two-step verification as opposed to the club computer. So I'm not sure whether that's related to what you just said.
No, well, it's all internet based. So when I log into Bowlslink at home, it's the same as me logging in at work. And if you've got club admin, it comes with two-factor authentication. So standard users won't need to put a two-factor code in because they don't have the database which we need to protect with security. So anyone with club admin, it doesn't matter if you're at home or you're at work or you're at the club, you will need that code. And I believe SMS is the easiest way to do it.
Thank you. That's all the open questions, unless anyone who had put a question in earlier, if the answer that's been popped in is not clear enough, or if you want to ask something again, we'll wait another couple of minutes, I guess. Did you want to, in the meantime, Matt, mention where this might be, where they can find it online after?
Yep. So I'll just share my screen again.
Just while you're doing that, the question came through, and I think your audio might have just cut out really briefly. Thanks, Graham, for reminding me. The Working with Children certificate. So the member can put their certification in. Does the club then have to approve that?
Yes, very good question. So here I am at the moment in my standard user profile. So in my clubs, you're in my clubs if it says member overview on the top left. If you're in the database, it will say membership. So all our standard users, members without club admin access, this is all they see when they log in. And generally what they're going to be doing could be Bowlslearn, could be Result Portal. Most often it's entering comps or managing teams and results. But in here, I do get the ability to add a certification. That might be, well, it won't be club coach because that needs to be approved by the state. So Working with Children Vic, I can put my valid to date in. I can actually upload a file as well. I can put my reference number that comes with your Working with Children, and then I can hit add. Now that shouldn't go green. That should be grey, because then the club needs to go off, check that documentation and approve it. I'll need to see why that's gone green. It should be grey, Mel.
Okay, well, you've answered the question at least. I'm sure if they try and do it, they'll be able to manage through. There's been a couple of brief questions.
Actually, sorry, Working with Children, I think, can be approved by the member. That's probably why it's gone green.
Righto. Okay, well, that answers the question. Thank you. Affiliation fees for social members, are they the same as pennant fees? I think we have covered that. That comes down to your participation category, which is up to the club to set that. So no, if they are a non-bowling member, there is no affiliation fee attached to that.
Yeah, so
participation
go
category.
go back to the diagram of the 5 participation types. At the moment, we're only charging affiliation for anyone who's a competition bowler. Clearly, they're playing a lot of pennant and they're practicing on club champs, or social club bowler. So that's someone who's playing weekly competitions or might be just training 3 or 4 times a week. So they're playing quite a lot. They'll get charged affiliation fee. It's your other 3 that at the moment won't be charged. So one-off, non-player, and we're still working how a program bowler will get charged.
Great. Flow on from that is how to classify a dual member who not at their primary club that might bowl socially at their
Yeah, it's a
non.
good question. Obviously, you only get charged for your primary club members. So anyone who is a dual member and they're not a primary club member with you, you won't get charged for them because they pay their affiliation at their primary club. It's up to the club then how they handle those dual members. I know some clubs have a dual membership that they would then apply to that member, and there would be a cost for that as well.
Yeah. Creating comps, events, email campaigns, all those things that we sort of skipped over quite briefly tonight. Are they all in the Bowlslink section as well as the pre-existing recorded webinars?
So I've definitely done a webinar on email campaigns. I haven't done a webinar on events. And I'm at the moment thinking about doing a training session for club competitions or competitions. And it will require probably 2 training sessions because it's so involved. But there are already Bowlslink modules on how to do those 3 things.
Okay, great. That answers that.
So,
I'm not sure who asked that question, but
yeah,
the
so if you
answer
want
is
to start
yes.
playing around with competitions, you can go and do the Bowlslink module and have a go.
Okay. One last question here. Club has had a member who left and wants to come back, but when the admin is putting in their ID number, it doesn't come up. Even the name doesn't come up. So could that be that it's been archived, or what would be the reason that they can't find it by number?
Well, yeah, they should be able to find it. So I'd be checking that national ID number for starters. But you can't. It'll come up with an error saying this person's already in your system, so you can't transfer them through that process. So what you need to do, which I demonstrated earlier in the session, is you need to unarchive them first, and then you need to go into their profile, and you'll see on the right there's a request transfer button. That will then start the transfer process with the invitations and then the approval from the primary club.
Okay, great. That was Selena who asked that question. If you have any trouble still with that, Selena, reach out to Matt or Sam.
Yeah, it was one thing I found out after doing the transfer webinar, which was fantastic.
Oh, that was all the questions that we had.
All right. Looks like we've done a good job, Mel.
10 minutes quicker than this morning.
Yeah, that's what
And
you
there were
get
more
from doing a
questions
practice
tonight
one.
too.
All right. Well, thank you for managing those questions, and thank you to everyone for joining. It's great to have over 200 people attend our 2 webinars today. It shows you that there's a lot of passionate volunteers out there that are willing to help their club and do the training, which is fantastic. We'll do our best, Mel, to have that up by this week.
Yeah, so we'll have that up on the YouTube channel and on Bowlsvic website as well.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Mel. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a great season. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.